The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our webinar about the Iowa Finance Authority's homeownership programs. In particular, our session today will focus on our transition to a new servicer, and we'll also provide you with some key program updates for 2014. I'm Deb Hauk. I'm the Director of Single Family Production here at IFA. And with me in the room today, I have Beth Mahaffey, our Business Development Director, and Sherry Crone, our Program Manager for Single Family. And on the line all the way from Boise, Idaho, we have Greg Blake with the Idaho Housing and Finance Association. And they've been selected as our servicer, as most of you know, as of January 1st. And I'm just going to ask Greg, please, to introduce himself and anyone else that we have on the line in Idaho today.
Thank you, Deb. I appreciate your time today. Hi, I'm Greg Blake. I'm the Director of IT for Idaho Housing and Finance. And with me here I have Cindy Bengal, and she's our Business Development and Subject Matter Expert on Loan Delivery. We also have Mark Suderman, who's our Loan Compliance Specialist, and Annie Smith. And I'll be going through a presentation today explaining a little more about their roles as well. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Greg. Before we get started with our actual agenda here this afternoon, I wanted to start with a few housekeeping items with respect to the webinar itself. We will be able to take your questions hopefully at the end of our prepared remarks, so we would ask you to hold them until that time. And when we are ready to do so, we'd ask that you pose those questions using the audio feature that's available on your GoToWebinar menu bar. Some of you may be listening through your computer monitors and terminals, and that's just fine. But that will only allow you to interact with us through the chat feature. And so questions that come to us that way we may not be able to address during today's session, and we may have to follow up with you after the fact. But if you want to pose a question in real time with us here today, we do ask that you go to that menu bar for the audio that will give you a phone number to call and a PIN that you can use to access the audio through your telephone set at your desk, or wherever you may be listening today. The agenda today is going to include a brief IFA program update, and then after that, as Greg said, we'll be turning it over to him and his team to talk to you about the procedures for delivering loans to the servicer. And after that, we will have our questions. So today we've done our introductions. The next thing we're going to talk about are some IFA program updates, and those will be pretty brief. And after that, we'll cover the delivery of loans to the servicer and then the Q&A. And I will say, I'm not sure who we have on the call today, but some of you, for some of you that participated earlier in January, this could be repetition. Just to be clear, this session is not a new training. These slides are not going to be new, at least from the standpoint of the Finance Authority. There may be a few tweaks and adds on the side of the servicer that could be picked up, but if you find that this is too repetitious, please feel free to bow out at any point. But I just want to be clear that this shouldn't be different if you participated in the past. So for me, I like to hear things 2 or 3 times because that helps me always remember them. So you're welcome to stay on the line if you are in that situation. So on our program updates, the first things that we want to talk to you about are just some changes. So that we're not going to talk about all of our program overview and that type of thing. We're just going to focus on some of the things that have changed, and we'll probably try to call out how it was before so we can contrast with what's new. So with our new servicer and with some of the changes in our documents, you will see that there are a few changes in our program. And that will pertain both to the mortgage terms and eligibility for borrowers as well as for the reservation procedures and the IFA review. We'll also give you a little update on our 2014 MCC program with the Take Credit program, and also just a quick update on the Military Homeownership Assistance program. In terms of the IFA mortgage terms and eligibility this year, there are some changes. And so in this slide, I've just organized it with some of the key things that we're keeping. It's not all inclusive by any means, but some of the key elements that we're keeping are underwriting overlays, which are the 640 minimum FICO is still going to apply, and the 45% minimum or maximum debt-to-income ratio will still be applicable, as well as our policy against any co-signers in our programs. That's across all the programs that we operate in the single-family area. And then with respect to fees, we do still have the standing Internal Revenue Code requirements that any lender fees must be reasonable and customary. So what is changing is that we are now going to be allowing up to 1% origination fee for the first mortgage financing. And that's a pretty significant departure from what we've done in the past. And it relates to a new approach to compensating lenders. So just to be clear, that 1% origination fee is lender compensation. That would be an aspect of the program that will come back to those of you that are originating in our program. The reason for the fee is that we have reduced the IFA servicing release premium. And so between the 1% origination fee and the new service release premium grids, you would find typically that your compensation would be maybe up overall on average or the same. But if you just look at the servicing release premium, it has gone down. So I just want to make sure that that's clear, that those two things are tied together, and they both relate to the way that you are compensated for originating loans in our program. And then the other new program change is just to make note that we have some new targeted area census tracts. Those are posted on our website, and those added about 16 new census tracts. So we have a fair number now for you to look at, and it just may be worth refreshing your memory to know where those are located if they pertain to your area. And this is the table. So this is what you would see if you go out and look at our income limits table on our website. These will now show up, and they'll show you the city that they're located in, and then the census tracts themselves will be listed and what the income limits are in those areas. And of course, those are a bit higher than the regular non-targeted areas. Some other changes that we wanted to make you aware of are with respect to the kinds of fees and pricing for IFA. What we have always had is a RELOC policy that we want to make sure that is fresh in your mind, if those of you that have been familiar with us. A RELOC policy, or the RELOC of the rate, occurs when the loan doesn't close before the initial rate lock period expires. And our rate lock period, as most of you know, is 60 days. So if that loan doesn't close within the 60-day period, we will allow you not to extend it, but to relock it when you are within 10 days, 10 calendar days of closing. And so if you know you have a closing date 5 days from now and you want to, relock, we'll allow you to do that by uploading a reservation change form to us requesting that. However, at that time, the rate that you're able to achieve is the higher of the rate that you originally locked or the rate at the time of relock. And that policy is going to stay the same, and I just thought it bore repeating because sometimes it doesn't come up that often. Another type of fee that's out there is called a reprice fee, and that is pretty rare actually, but it occurs when IFA is asked to purchase a loan or a servicer is asked to purchase a loan on behalf of IFA, but it closed at a lower rate than it was reserved at, or that was offered in the program at the time of reservation. So it was just more or less a lender error. They accidentally closed the loan at a different rate than was allowed. And in that case, we will allow for purchase, but you'd have a repricing fee, which would be equal to 1% of the loan amount for every quarter-point increase in the rate as of the date all the purchase conditions are cleared. And these fees will be netted out of the loan purchase at the time the servicer purchases the loan. So that's how those will be handled. But those haven't really changed. They just don't come up all that often. What is different is the servicing release premium, or the SRP, which is, again, the IFA's way of compensating the lender for releasing the rights to servicing. That is no longer fixed, and what I would refer you to, and every person originating in the program should be familiar with this grid. It's known as Exhibit A of the Mortgage Origination Agreement. So if you're out on our website trolling around, we have our Mortgage Origination Agreement out there linked for you, and you can just go towards the end of the document where the exhibits are, and that Exhibit A will show you what we're offering. And it does vary by the type of loan and the size of the loan, as well as the timing of delivery of the loan. So instead of having a fixed late delivery charge like we used to have, we will now be just factor that into our service release premium. And so you'll see a little bit lower the further out that loan goes. So the highest premium you'll get, your compensation will be the highest if you deliver those loans to the servicer within 30 days. It'll go down, first that was delivered between 31 and 60 days, and then down further up to 90 days, after which time we would reserve the right not to purchase the loan. So that's how the late delivery will be handled, and you can just refer to the Exhibit A for that information. There are some additional fees that used to be charged in the case of our former servicer, U.S. Bank. One of those was a funding fee of $150, and it was proposed to go up to $250 when we issued an RFP for servicer, and we were able to avoid having that at all. So we have no funding fee. The Idaho Housing and Finance Association does not charge any fee for that, so you don't need to list that on the HUD anymore. There is a tax service fee set at $59, and then this flood certification of $18, and I'll have the folks on the servicer side kind of explain that a bit more. It's been somewhat confusing to people, and they're better equipped to explain that than I am, but those are just a few quick changes. Another important change that we want to highlight for you has to do with the use of our conventional product. And we do only allow the use of the HFA preferred Fannie Mae product, which is exclusive to state housing finance agencies. And with that program, you're allowed to serve, Fannie Mae allows loan-to-value ratios above 95%, but only for the HFA preferred users. And so, you know, in the past, I think U.S. Bank sent out some bulletins about some overlays to that product where they were going to require some mandatory underwriting and fees associated with that underwriting service. None of those bulletins will apply now that we are not using U.S. Bank as our servicer anymore. So just to be aware that you can disregard that bulletin and it's not going to apply. There will be no overlays beyond those that Fannie Mae has announced. And just IFA and the servicer will just defer to the Fannie Mae guidelines for the most part on conventional lending. So that helps to streamline things and give you one place to go for all the information. There are a few changes now that we have a different methodology of delivering loans, different entity to deliver loans to that relate to our loan reservation and review procedure. And again, on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see I've listed what hasn't changed, what things have we retained from the previous arrangement. And that is, on the front end, you'll do your origination activity in exactly the same way. You'll be able to lock the loan in Lender Online, lock your rate for that 60-day period, and signal to IFA your intent to use our program for that borrower. And you will then also continue to upload your pre-close compliance review packages to IFA in the same manner, along the same timeline that you had previously. So that front-end piece will stay exactly the same. What is a little different, though, is when you go into Lender Online, you'll see that we just had to break out our government loan types. So rather than just having government loans and conventional loans as one of two options for you to choose, within each program, whether you're using Homes for Islands or First Home, we'll ask you to decide which type of government loan you're using, whether it be RD, VA, or FHA. And so that's probably something you're used to from other systems, and it just adds a few little selection options for you in Lender Online. The other thing to note about the process is slightly different is that the post-close review will be not done simultaneously by IFA and the servicer, but rather IFA will do its review first once you've closed the loan, uploaded the package to us, and you need to allow for 5 business days as in the past. And then once IFA is satisfied that its conditions have been met, it will signal to Idaho that it's good for review, and then you need to allow an additional 5 business days for them to review it. Now I will say that our turnaround times have been significantly less than 5 days, as has Idaho's, but we do allow that 5-day range just to make sure you don't get caught out if we get extra busy or if there's some other holiday or delay issue that comes up. We're thinking that that allows us sufficient time that we can always meet that time frame, and so you're safest to allow that. And here in this slide, this will probably be mostly just a good reference tool for you after the fact. It really just restates the steps that we've always had, lender taking the loan app, reserving the loan in Lender Online, locking the rate, and then uploading the compliance review package with no less than 5 business days prior to closing. Then IFA completing the review and reminding you that for the DPA or the PLUS grants, the military grant and the MCCs, you're going to need to have a pre-close commitment from IFA for all those products, so just make sure that you allow enough time to receive that response back. And then the lender will complete the delegated credit and property review, close the loan, and submit the post-close packages to IFA through Lender Online, and then ultimately to the servicer in in an area called Lender Connection, which Greg will explain and show you and demonstrate for you in a few minutes. And then we will complete our post-close review, then the servicer will complete their post-close review, and finally the purchase will occur, assuming all has gone correctly up to that point. So now we've done our complete review of the First Mortgage Program update, pretty quick, but if you do have questions, there's something that you've been wondering about that I didn't address, you're always going to have the opportunity to email or contact us after this session, and we'll be happy to answer any additional questions you may have. But at this point, I wanted to just give you a brief update on our Take Credit program. So you know, most of you know that we have a new program this year. We had it last year. It was exhausted by the end of May. And this year we have less money, but we're making it go further by changing the credit rate from 50% down to 30%. We think we have the capacity in this program to serve about 585 borrowers in 2014. We have added a new restriction. Last year it was sort of a free-for-all in terms of what types of loans you could use. This year we are limiting it to only 30-year fixed-rate, fully amortizing mortgage loans. Does not have to be an IFA loan, but it could be paired with the Homes for Islands product. We have an updated lender sign-up fee schedule, and we did have had really good lender participation already in the program. So I think those of you that participated last year have mostly re-upped, and we have a good reach into the communities. We have 103 lenders, companies signed up, 266 branch locations. And I will say, too, that within the first 2 weeks of our current program, we had about 15% of our capacity reserved. So, you know, looking at, if we kept it going at that rate, we would probably have reserved most of our capacity in about the same time frame as last year. So it is going fast. May slow down, I'm not sure, but you know, we don't know exactly when we'll run out if we do run out, but just so you know, it is something that's limited, and if you have borrowers who are interested and appear to be eligible, it's a good idea to get in there and make sure you take the proper steps to get them registered, because it at some point will likely run out. And on the topic of running out, we have our Military Homeownership Assistance Program, which is also a limited resource. We had $1.6 million of funds to use in the fiscal year 14, which ends June 30th. We do think we may run out of those funds as well before the fiscal year ends. And in that event, we would notify lenders that the funds are exhausted, and we may allow reservations to continue, but with the understanding that lenders would no longer be table funding those grants at the closing, but rather IFA would reimburse the borrower as a principal reduction if the funds are reappropriated and available in the next fiscal year. And all indications are that it will be renewed and that it may be even a higher amount because of the high demand. But we don't want to count our chickens before they hatch, so we can't really commit those funds until we know they're in the bank. So that's how we'll handle that. And with that, I will turn it over to Greg for the servicer element, the delivery part of the presentation. So Greg, are you ready?
Just about. I need to take control of your computer. If you can send me a control, there we go. Right. We'll try this, if this works here. You know what? I might have to have you do that one more time here.
You want to, let's see.
One moment. Can you see the screen, or are you seeing a small screen?
We see a small screen.
Small screen.
Okay, can you send me the request again one more time? And you know, I think I can do it here. I apologize. That's right. There we go. How about now? You see the full screen?
We see a full screen. Yep.
All right, fantastic. All right, well, thank you very much. Appreciate your time today. What I'd like to do is talk to you about Idaho Housing, and we're going to go through what Idaho Housing is, and we'll talk about our technology, which is called Lender Connection. And then we'll also talk about the actually loan delivery steps and the checklist. So I'm going to walk you through the first part. I'm just going to walk you through a PowerPoint presentation talking about who we are in Idaho and certain things we expect. So there we go. So Idaho Housing, we are a Housing Finance Authority, just like Iowa. We've been in this business for many, many years. The main difference than Iowa as a housing authority is that we actually do mortgage servicing or master mortgage servicing. And so we teamed up with Iowa to actually do the master servicing for them. But we understand the needs of the first-time home buyer and the specific product offerings that housing finance authorities have. So we thought this would be a great opportunity to partner with them in this program. A lot of people ask where is Idaho, because they get us confused with Iowa and Ohio. And obviously you guys are from Iowa, so you wouldn't get confused with that. But we are located in Boise, Idaho. We're in the mountain time zone in the western part of the Rocky Mountains. So I always kind of put that slide in so everybody knows where Idaho is. And I wanted to point out who our servicing team is, who the people will be servicing for Idaho. Many of you have probably already spoken to Annie Smith, and Annie's here in my office, and she is the initial point of contact. She'll get you started on your journey with us as a master servicer. She'll work with you on your contracts, answer any questions you have, first point of contact. She can direct you to the correct people if you have any questions. So she's the person that we'll give out the number that you'll be talking to initially. And we also have Mark Suderman and Liz Calentino. And Mark's here in the office as well. He's in my office. He is our loan compliance specialist, and he'll be reviewing your loan for purchase. So after you have your closed loan package ready to go and you've uploaded it to us or sent it to us, he'll be reviewing it for any conditions and then approving your loan for purchase. And then I've included Cindy Bangle here as well. Cindy's in my office, and she has been here for many years. She knows everything about this business. She's our business development specialist and also our subject matter expert. And if we have any questions that we can't answer, we can always go to Cindy and she can help us out. So I just wanted to put some faces to the names of the people that you'll be working with. Just a little bit more about Idaho Housing. We've been, like I said, we've been in this business for about 20 years in the master servicing business. We have over $5.5 billion in loan sold through the mortgage revenue bonds and the TBA, which is the Ginnie, Fannie, and Freddie market. We are a approved seller for servicer for Ginnie, Fannie, and Freddie. And currently this year, just in Idaho alone, we have we're doing about $830 million in loan sales, not including some of our other states. We actually also do master servicing for New Mexico as well, and now for Iowa. Just in Idaho, we have 300 participating lenders, a couple, probably 100 or so in New Mexico, and I think with Iowa there's a few hundred as well. A little bit about our business. We're staffed with 220 professionals, 46 dedicated to customer service. So for your borrowers, we have a huge customer service staff that we can answer any of their questions. We have Spanish-speaking people on staff, and we also have an interpreter service with any of our borrowers. If they don't speak English or Spanish, we have an interpreter service which will get online and be able to translate any language out there, and it works really well. Our customer satisfaction scores are typically in the excellent category, so we're very, like I said, we're focused on customer service. And one thing that we do a little differently from the previous master servicer is once the loan is closed, we send a home buyer welcome packet to the new borrowers, and it is a beautiful color brochure. It tells them everything about the loans and what to expect and how to make payments and things like that. So, and we've worked with Iowa in developing that, and so your new borrowers will be getting this package as soon as the loan is approved and closed. A little bit about what I'm going to show you is this website in a few minutes, and you've heard the term Lender Connection. That is our branded name for the closed loan package. You currently use the lender package called Lender Online through IFA or Iowa. So it may get a little confusing jumping from Lender Online to Lender Connection. One of the things that we do with this Lender Connection web portal is we have branded it to Iowa's color, style, and logo. So what I'll be showing you here is as you log in, it'll look like you're logging into Iowa's actual system. it's hosted here in Idaho, but it's branded for Iowa. It allows you to submit your loan documents and additional information for review. It is a very secure system, and I'll talk a little bit more about the security in a moment here. We have another portal, and that's the borrower connection, and it's branded as well. So once the loan is purchased and the borrower needs to make a payment, we'll give them access to this web portal so they can make online payments, look up their loan, their history, their balance, get their tax information and things like that. I'll show you a little bit about that as well. And then I mentioned we have a phone number, and this is the 800 number listed here, and this number is our single point of contact for borrowers, and they can call us up. And we also, I think this number refers to you, Annie, I believe, and this is the number you would call for any help. All right, so a couple things I just wanted to mention about the borrowers, and as we close the loan with Iowa and with you, we actually have another logo that you kind of see on the upper right-hand corner of your screen. It's called Home Loan Serve. So Idaho Housing and Finance's servicing department is called Home Loan Serve. So as the borrower receives their coupon books or any information, you'll see that logo here, and I just wanted you to be aware of it. That logo is part of Idaho Housing. It's more of a national brand, and it brands our department. So we kind of use that interchangeably. So I just wanted to show you that as we go through this. Once you have your closed loan package and it's ready to be delivered, 99% of the lenders have the ability to create the loan package in PDF format, and we can accept that as an electronic delivery, but we have some lenders that can't do that. We also will accept your loan package by mail or FedEx or UPS, and I've included our address here that you would send the loan packages to, and that's Idaho Housing and Finance, 565 West Myrtle, Boise, Idaho. A couple of little program informations I just wanted to get out there for you guys is that when you do an endorsement to us, we get quite a few mistakes. It has to be written to Idaho Housing and Finance Association, and some of the mistakes we get is that it'll be written out to Idaho Housing and the ampersand Finance Association. We just ask that you make sure that you have the word "and" spelled out. And the other thing I'd mention with the Home Loan Serve, please do not make any endorsements to Home Loan Serve. It all should go to Idaho Housing and Finance Association. We do use MERS, and I've included our MERS number of 100-9670. A couple things as well. We have our submission checklist and forms, and those will be available on Lender Connection and a link to AllRegs. I believe the previous master servicer used AllRegs. We use them as well, and that is a service where there's forms and document libraries can be kept. So you'll see some of our forms on AllRegs as well. Purchase statements, once the loan is purchased, you'll get that online on Lender Connection. And wiring instructions need to be sent to just one warehouse bank only. I know we have a few lenders that have multiple wiring instructions, multiple bank accounts, but we can only accept one. So you'll need to pick which one that we can use to wire your monies. Deb had mentioned this $18 flood compliance fee in one of her slides, and I just wanted to kind of explain what that means. Is we don't actually charge you $18, but if you choose to use CoreLogic and basically use our account, and we can give you our account number, it will cost you $18. You can use your own account, and if you do, you can apply. You can give us an evidence of transfer letter, so you don't have to pay the $18. But if you don't have that, we have negotiated with them this $18 fee with CoreLogic if you'd like to use that as well. Hopefully I'm explaining that right, Cindy. She's nodding her head. And another comment just about hazard insurance, the deductible must be 1% of the loan amount or $1,000. a little bit about technology and security, and we get questions from some of the banks, and just wanted to let you know that this Lender Connection site is a secure lender connection. It provides a secure upload for your document delivery. We also, if we email you, say conditions or any personal information, those emails will be used in an encrypted form. I think most of you are used to that. But just to let you know, we comply with the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Information Security Program, and by that we have passed what's called a SOC 2 Organizational Control Compliance Audit, which basically means that our website and our security practices are secure, and so we maintain privacy, security, those type of things. So now what I'd like to do is kind of jump into our Lender Connection demonstration, and this will be an actual web portal you'll go to, and hopefully you can see the screen right now. And this is, I'm in a web browser, and you will, the link to Lender Connection will be on IFA's website, but you can also go there by typing www.lenderifa.com, and you'll be provided with a login screen. What we will do is, once you've finished your mortgage authorization agreement with us and with Iowa, we'll send you login instructions to access the system. And you'll receive those login instructions in an email. Let me see if I can show you what this will look like. I'll bring this over. Hopefully you can see my screen here. You're going to receive 2 emails, and they're going to both be from Notify. So you might want to check your junk mail. Sometimes they go to people's junk mail, but the first one will be actual login instructions, and it'll look something like this. And in this case, you'll get login instructions with the name of the user, and we have a test user called John Wayne at ihfa.org to kind of honor John Wayne because he's from Iowa. And you'll get this this email along with a separate email that actually has your password, and I'll click into that and show you that. And you'll see this password is a kind of an encrypted 8 or 9-digit email, or a password that you'll need to change to something more understandable for you. The reason we have to send 2 emails with that, it's part of the security audit. They require separate emails for password and login instructions. So what I'm going to do, actually I need to go back to that real quick here and bring up the password here. So the first time in, I'm going to copy the password, and we're going to log in to Lender Connection here, and I had John Wayne at ihfa.org, so that's my user account. And I'm going to paste the password. It's a little easier than trying to type that out, and we'll hit login. First thing you will get is a end user license agreement, EULA. This is kind of standard if you've used websites, and you would want to click here to acknowledge that you accepted the privacy and terms of use, and then you click continue, and that will not come up anymore. If you don't check that box, it'll keep coming up every time you log in. So the first thing you'll see is the home page of Lender Connection. As you see, it's branded for Iowa Finance Authorities. It's got their colors and their logos. On the left side, we have where you'd send your original notes to, and a link to get onto the all regs for your documents. If you scroll down a bit here, you can see we've included a training video. You can go through, walk through this training video, and we actually have your loan delivery checklist and your accelerated delivery form. And I'm going to take you into that in just a moment, but I wanted to show you what happens here and get you to understand the technology. Once your loan is in reservation received, so IFA has it, and they're doing their compliance review, but they haven't quite finished it yet. That data every night will flow over to us, and that'll be in the system here under loan reservations, and it'll have a status of reservation received. So you'll be able to see it. You can't really do anything but print the reservation. You can upload documents. The only thing you can do is, until the loan is compliance approved by IFA, then the loan changes to a status of called compliance approved here. And as you can see, this one in the middle is reservation received. This one is compliance approved. And once it's compliance approved, we give you the ability to do a couple things. And one is to edit the reservation and provide all the necessary information for us to purchase the loan. You can upload your 1003 file, which is the Fannie Mae final 3.2 file, and that'll help fill in a bunch of information for us. And then you can upload your loan documents. Once we've received the loan documents, you've filled in the fields here, and you've uploaded the 1003. You want to send the original note to us. And if we have all that information, then Mark here, who's in my office, he will go through it and approve it for purchase if there's no outstanding conditions. And let me kind of walk you through this step as well. So let's take this particular loan. It's compliance approved. And I'm going to click on the Edit Reservation. Bring this screen up. And so the information that we have already received from IFA, this flows over every night, and you can see in this particular case, this particular loan was a Homes for Iowa Plus RD loan. The lender is John Wayne Mortgage, which is us, and here was the loan amount and the sales price. We would like you to fill in as much information as you can here, but one of the things that you want to do, the very first thing you want to do, you should already have the Fannie Mae 3.2 file, and I would like you to upload that. And what you would do here is just click on Choose File and click on actually Upload. It opened up another screen here, but you would choose File, you would select the file, and then you would click Upload, and you would actually send this information to us and fill in some of the fields here. Once you've done that, you still have quite a few empty fields that you need to fill in. If you go to one thing you can do is you can go to the bottom of the screen. Let me go all the way to the very bottom here. And if you click Next, it'll tell you all the information that you're missing, and you can jump to that, like the reservation date's missing. You can jump to that and fill in the red here. You can also go to the bottom if you don't have all the information, but you can save it as it is or save and close. So we've kind of mimicked the Fannie Mae, the DU screen, so you can, as much information as you can will help us out in purchasing this particular loan. All right, so I'm going to take you back to loans and reservations. So let's say we have on this particular loan, this Homes for Iowa Plus RD, let's say we have the actual closed loan package, and what we want to do is we want to click on this link, Upload Loan Documents, and this will take you into a screen where you can actually upload that loan documents, and you see the one was uploaded here on 12/31. This was the test loan. But things you'll want to do is you want to say it's a loan package, let's say, and you want to put in the receipt email. You want to put your own email to give you a notification that it's been sent, and you can put some information, the subject matter. If this is, this is Spencer Stevenson's loan, you can type something in there and it'll come in the subject matter, and that alerts Mark that you're sending this information as well. You choose the file and then you click Upload, and once it's uploaded it'll show here on the Upload Clone Documents. So I'm going to jump over to the, let's go back to Home. I'm going to take you into the actual loan delivery checklist, because in order to create that closed loan package, you got to go through the checklist. And you can get our checklist here. You click here, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. It's a PDF form, and I'm going to turn this over to Mark. He can explain a little bit about this checklist and the right and left side. And I mentioned, first of all, we'd like to have you upload the Fannie Mae 1003 file, and it might have some information on how you download that from Fannie Mae. But Mark, would you like to explain a little bit about the checklist?
Sure, thanks, Greg. This checklist just basically identifies the best way to upload the package to us. If you can put your uploaded package in this order, it makes it a lot easier for me to review the loan. It's consistent with the document order that as I look through it. There are no documents on here that will be foreign to you. Everything is pretty much what you worked with in the past, other than the accelerated certificate of delivery form. That's the first item on the right side. This is processing the receipt of trailing documents. This is a document you'll include with your loan, a copy of this document with your loan submitted package, identifying the documents we should accept later, such as the original recorded deed of trust, original title policy, the MIC certificate, etc. There is an example of the ADP form. That's the only document that you'll find on our checklist that is different than what you in the file. This is where you tell me who I need to contact for conditions. On the top of the checklist is a place where you identify the borrower name, the lender contact, phone number of the lender, and ask you for whatever it may be that I'm missing. If this checklist is not in the file, I don't know who to contact, and the file could just sit in limbo while I try to figure out who it is I'm supposed to be reaching out to. So for expedience factors and make things work well, please be sure to use this form on every file you submit, properly filled out, and place it on top of the file. That's about all.
A couple of things on the checklist right here, towards the bottom of the home page, and then the accelerated delivery form, and I brought that one up. And as he mentioned, this is any documents that should be delivered at a later date you check off here. Okay, a couple of things about the home page. As you can see, we have the loan products that IFA offers in here, and in the past, IFA had consolidated some of these programs as being just recently has broken them up by either First Home, RD, VA, so the governments have been broken up. If you need to get the rates, you can click on the current rates here, and this will take you straight into IFA's website and bring up their rates. Okay, and you can get a little more information, I believe, if you expand this. Or maybe I don't have that turned on here, but so the other thing I'd like to show you is in the administration tab. Now, what we will do is we will assign one person in every one of your offices to be the administrator of your own office. And Annie Smith here will set that person up, and that person will create all your accounts for your office, so you don't have to bother us with account creation. And if you go to Account User Manager, you will see, click here, I think I clicked. There we go. You can see I have set up John Wayne as the account, and John Wayne is the administrator of the account. You can add 100 people from your office here, and you can make them an administrator or not an administrator. You can unlock accounts, and you can also email their own login instructions and passwords to them. So we're kind of giving each office the ability to self-service their own office, because we have some banks and mortgage companies that have 30 or 40 staff members, and they're changing all the time. And you can set up your own login account and information as well. In this particular case, we just have John Wayne as just a sole lender, but he can create more accounts here. All right, so let's say that you've sent your closed loan package and you've uploaded your Fannie Mae 3.2 file and you've filled in all that information. Mark has cleared all the conditions, everything looks good. He will purchase the loan, and then what we do is we go to this little site under Loans Purchase Statements, and if I can click right, you will go in and you'll be able to see any of the purchase statements that would appear here. I'm going to go back in time to bring up some purchase statements. We might have cleared this out, but one moment. Well, I can't show you purchase statements on this one. I think we had test data and they cleared them out. They would normally show right here, and these purchase statements would come up as a PDF, and you would have all the information. It's your purchase advice. They would have all your purchase statements. And then we will actually wire you, based on your wiring instructions, the money on that particular purchase statement. So I apologize. I think we cleared out that data, and it was here on our last demonstration. But please go in as after it's purchased. You'll be able to grab that information there as well. And then finally, if we go back to the home page, under home, we have one of the things you'll need to do is change your password early on, and that you'll put that old password that we gave you, that encrypted, and you put in your new password. And I think all of you who use websites are kind of familiar with that. And there's our sitemap and privacy policies and things like that that you can access at any website would have. That actually concludes this Lender Connection demonstration, and what I would like to do is hand the screen back over to Deb to ask if there are any questions you would have on this. I know I went really quick, but I just don't want you to worry. Annie Smith will walk you through this as well once you're set up. So she's done this. She does it for the first time for everybody. She'll walk you through. So I know we went through a lot of information, but I just don't want you to be worried about it. It's actually once she gets you through it, it's pretty easy. So Deb, would you like to take over?
Yeah, thank you, Greg. That was very helpful, good information. And I have Beth sort of managing the technology here, so I don't know if you've completed your transfer of controls back just yet. But what we'll do here is, as soon as she has the ability, we'll take a look and see if we have any questions from the participants. And we'll look to see if you have your hand raised. So you'll just want to click on the raise your hand icon if you have a question you'd like us to call on you. And at that point, Beth will go to your name and unmute your microphone so you can speak to us on the phone. And if you are too shy or you aren't able to ask your questions that way, you're welcome to submit them through the chat feature, but we'll probably take those individually after the session today. So Beth, do you have a question?
Looks like Jackie Maxwell.
Jackie, we've unmuted your microphone. If you have a question, feel free to ask it now.
Okay, we'll move on, I guess. Let's see. Okay, Crystal Schaefer. Crystal Schaefer?
Yes?
Crystal, are you?
Is it working?
Yep,
We can hear you.
No, I was just wondering, could you email this presentation to us?
It's available on the website, Crystal. So
Okay,
do you
great.
need it for some other use, or is that an okay option for you to access it on our website?
Yeah, that's fine. And just to put notes and stuff on it, it would be great.
Oh, okay.
we have both versions. Well, after today, we're recording this version, so this will be a recorded version, and then we have just the PowerPoint presentation is already out there, but this recorded version will be out there probably by tomorrow, I would say. We'll have this posted on our website also under Forms and Resources under the Lender tab.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Crystal.
Lisa Flatt. Lisa, are you there?
Oh, yep, sorry. I already got the answer to that.
Okay. And Marianne Campbell. Marianne Campbell.
I sent it through the chat. I can't talk to him.
Oh, we can hear you, Marianne.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, is this Marianne?
Yes, it is. I thought it was through the chat. I had a question on the compliance underwriting. Is that done by your agency, or do we do it as the underwriter?
You would do the compliance underwriting as you would normally underwrite a loan, and then you submit the loan, the compliance package via Lender Online to IFA prior to closing the loan. and then we review it for program compliance only. We do not underwrite the loan or re-underwrite the loan. We are only looking for our program compliance.
And that's the part I was
When
questioning.
when Sherry says that, what she means is that we review it to make sure that it conforms to our income limits, for example. If it has to be someone who meets the first-time buyer requirement, we would be looking at it for that. Sometimes there may be issues with whether it's to be used as a prime, those types of things. But we're not looking at the credit underwriting aspect at all. And then when you submit it to Idaho, they'll be looking for the secondary market compliance.
Okay, so for the compliance portion for your program, what do we get back to show that you've reviewed it? Or do we pull something from the website?
We will send you an email when we have finished review of the file, and then if there are either plus MCC or military funds associated with that reservation, you will also get a DPA commitment.
Okay,
A
thank
written
you.
notice of commitment. Thank you, Marian.
Thank you.
Okay. We're just checking to see if we have any other question marks.
Looks like Tammy Ernst. Tammy Ernst? Hello? Hello?
I don't have any questions.
We have your time. Tammy, did you have a question?
I don't.
Okay. I think we're going to move on. Let's see if there's someone else. Is that someone? Should we do this one? Okay.
Okay, well, we don't see any more questions in there in the queue yet, so I think with that we will wrap up our presentation. For those of you that have additional questions that for whatever reason you weren't able to ask, we will, just so you know, if you posed it through the chat feature and we weren't able to get you verbally or through the audio system, we will follow up with you by email after this session closes. And thank you so much for your time and attention. And I don't know, Greg, do you have any parting comments to share?
No, I'd just like to thank you, IFA, and you as lenders to be working with us. We really appreciate this opportunity, and we look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good afternoon.